on the board very quickly, putting a lot of pressure with the Asphodel Wanderer and the Flesh Mad Steed. And now here comes the Mogis Mortar, giving everyone haste and intimidate. So most likely Olle will be trading for the Mogis Mortar here with the Karen Lampard. The only glitch in Mats' plan is that he doesn't have the double black for his Green Merchant of Asphodel that he has in hand. Otherwise, this would be over. We are not entirely familiar with the life totals here. And the Lampad trades. It's pretty safe to say that Mats is still on 20 life. And down comes the Gorgon. A big red stop sign here. Actually capable of trading with the Asphodel. Well, at least making it regenerate.
It's likely that Olle is only at 7 life. And Mats, as we said, is most likely still at 20. We're trying to get the life total spread out, at least for game 2 here.
Yeah. As is, we don't have a spotter on the table, so we're doing the life total calculations by hand and by head. Mats here taking his time deciding if he wants to. Yeah, he wants to pile in. He regenerates his Asphodel Wanderer, not really minding spending 3 mana there just to get through with the Flesh Mad Steed. Olle would need something like Seagull's Revenge here to stabilize and get back into this game. Seagull's Revenge bouncing up to 3 creatures and scry 1 sorcery. Doesn't seem like he has it in hand, because in that case he would have slammed it a long time ago. Instead he opts for the Nimbus Naiad, keeping 3 mana open. Is there some kind of trick that he's representing? Not that I can think of. That he doesn't represent with less mana as well. So, the Farikis Cure takes care of the nobles, the Sable, draining it for 2, taking Olle up to 9 life, and then taking him down again with the Flesh Mad Steed to 7, right?
No, he was at 5.
Okay.
So he should be at 7 now with the life gain from Farikis Cure.
Yeah.
It's
oh yeah, it was tapped because of
the Sable dying.
Yeah, exactly.
So just one more Black Devotion there won't be enough to kill Olle with the Grey Merchant if he manages to draw this one, and Grey Merchant from Olle really can turn the tide of this game here.
Yeah.
So it should be 16 to 11 life total right now.
Yeah. Olle back up to a comfortable life total. That was really not what Mats wanted to see. He draws. It's not a swamp, at least.
We do know that Mats have 2 lightning strikes in his deck.
Yeah.
So it is possible that he could just luck out and draw running lightning strikes and the second swamp. To just seal this game off.
Yeah,
there's a second swamp at least.
Yeah.
Just in time. The Scorch Mark also, of course, gives him
one more
devotion.
And also one more power to actually be able to trade here with all of...
with the Gorgon,
yeah.
So the Wanderer here is going to go in for the attack.
Yeah.
Olle will just have to chump here, I think.
Yeah.
He can't really take the damage now that Mats has the second swamp. He has to put him on at least possibly having a Grey Merchant.
Yeah. What you have to take into consideration here, though, is if I am chumping away all my dudes, do I actually have a way of winning this anyway?
And it seems I was correct with life totals. Yay me.
Awesome! Who needs spotters?
So this is still game one, and we haven't really had a chance to see what Olle has in his deck prior to the game. But looking at the cards that we've seen so far, it's seems like a reasonable blue-black deck.
Yeah, a little more on the control-ish side. We talked to Olle yesterday. He said that he builds his blue-black decks very aggressive. Double block here.
Opting for a double block, Mats can still just kill one of his creatures, so it's a reasonable block. Just to force him to
use the mana.
To use the mana to regenerate.
Yeah. Mats
So
not
he will-
opting to kill the flyer.
He'll kill off the Grey Merchant,
Yeah.
which is most likely the correct play here.
Yeah, he's afraid of another Grey Merchant with more devotion.
Decreasing the devotion to black on board for any player is always a good idea.
And here comes
That one is not good for Mats though. The
the monstrosity of
and the monstrous
the
on
Keepsake Organ.
Keepsake Organ,
Yeah. So that's why he wanted to tap Mats out, so he couldn't regenerate next turn. Of course.
Well, Olle didn't really lose anything to
No.
actually double blocking either, so it was just the correct play.
Yeah.
Even if he didn't count on actually having the land to do the monstrosity.
Yeah. And getting another 2 devotion to black off the table makes Mats's Grey Merchant seem less and less like a finisher and more like a keeping Mats in the game, so to speak here.
Yeah. It's still a drain for 4.
Yeah.
And
Taking Olle down to 7 and Mats up to a comfortable 18.
we know that Mats also has a Timuret the Murder King in his deck, which would be enough to just kill Olle straight out here. Just drawing it and sacrificing his team to the dome. So Mats definitely has plenty of outs, even to the big creatures that Olle is presenting.
And here comes the Shipbreaker Kraken. So Mats Neumann now in dire straits. Olle needing just 1 more land to effectively wrath Mats' team and swing in for 15 damage next turn.
Mats just passed the turn.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't have the last land he needed, so
Doesn't
there's
seem
no.
so. But he gets another shot at the land. Still no 8th land for Olle. A Mogismore order. Maybe that finishes him off as well. No,
it doesn't finish him.
No.
But he can attack him with the Shipbreaker Kraken as well, taking Mats down to 2-9.
8 even. He's a 6-6.
It's a 6-6, of course. So this puts Mats in a very awkward position where he really needs to find an answer to Ole's board at this point.
Yeah.
Just one land and the game is over from just one land from Ole. And
that's a pretty good position to be in. Either I draw spells or I win the game.
Exactly, yeah. And even if he doesn't draw the land, he will still be able to attack with a 6/6 at a 2/2 flyer. Maybe even putting in the Gorgon at this point, just to squeak in the damage. The Wanderer will stand in the way of one of the bigger guys, but it's still 4 power on the Gorgon, 6 on the Kraken, so both of them kills the bigger blocker in the Grey Merchant.
Also, Olle has a Voyages end in hand should any shenanigans appear. Two players bantering a little back and forth. And 3 guys pile in. I think Mats is planning on taking it and going down to 2 here.
Yeah, he just needs to have the creatures to be able to do anything.
Yeah.
And there's the scoop.
Yeah.
Looking at the Mats deck before the game, the archetype as such really just needs to punch in the early damage and finish it with the Grey Merchant. When he didn't draw the second land or the second swamp in time to actually seal the game with it, it became very, very awkward for him to fight it off, but just to pretty much just try to stay alive longer and get in some extra damage before Olle got a chance to grow too big in the game.
Like, what we saw here was Olle playing his Grey Merchant of Asphodel, going up to 11, and that was the stop sign for any attacks from Mats' side. He didn't get through any damage after that.
Oh.
So when the blue-black control deck establishes a board position, the aggressive deck needs to come up with some way of pushing through damage through the huge blockers, or else it will, as we saw her, and end up losing.
Yeah.
I think maybe Olle is thinking about boarding out some of the clunkier spells here. I'm not sure what he has in his deck.
Looking at all the cards that we saw from Olle were all very reasonable to keep in the matchup.
Yeah.
The cheaper creatures just to have a blocker to trade with whatever 2/2 or 3/2 or just early on is so much worth it. Even if you're spending 1 more mana or 2 more mana, then Mats just staving off the damage early is
keeping your life total high.
Yeah, exactly. And then just winning with your bigger creatures. Looking at since it's a black-red deck, there's no risk of running into a random bound spell, or the only removal that you can actually fear is Tip of Hemlock or Keepsake Gorgon from Mats' side, which is very expensive spells. And looking at the mana curve of Mats' deck in the first game, he gotta expect to not really see that much of those spells here.
Maybe Olle takes out some. We saw 2 card drawing spells game 1. One discarded to the ordeal. Maybe he takes out one of those because those are cards that you usually will draw eventually, and maybe you don't want to pay the 2 life too many times in the matchup. And I'm not sure who was on the play this game, but
Mats will for sure begin this turn.
Yeah, I meant game 1.
Yeah. Since at the point we came in to the match, we already saw Mats at his 4 lands or his 5 lands, so it's we can't really tell from that either. All we know is that he had the early Wanderer, and so turn 1 Wanderer and turn 2 Ordeal.
Yeah.
And after that, we don't really have perfect information.
Well, after that we have perfect information,
well,
but before that we don't have.
It's the in between that we don't have perfect information.
Yeah, exactly. I see a couple of tricks in Mats' deck when he's shuffling the +1/+0 to 2 guys on first strike, and also a sip of Hemlock at the bottom there. So I think he might actually be in a okay position to push through. It seems like he has the threaten that scries one as well. Mats' deck is not just 2 1-drops and 2-drops.
It's heavily favored on the early play.
Yeah.
Just to try and get through some early damage.
Yes.
So we have the turn 1 Wanderer here. See if he gets an Ordeal as well.
Yeah,
it does seem like he may.
He has an Ordeal in hand here.
And there we go.
Yeah.
Let's start the onslaught.
Exactly. Also in Mats' hand, the Akron Crusader, also a very fine 1-drop to put Ordeal on, making another hasted dude, just piling on the damage. So maybe we're looking at Akron Crusader into
the
Scorch Mark here, yeah. You've basically showed the card. You can't.
He might be considering just not playing it. Just do the attack. Trying to play around possible voyages end, but I don't think it would really matter at this point.
I don't think so either.
He does. I think he has a 3-drop in hand as well, or.
No, I think that's the boon of Erebos, I think.
Okay.
All right. Maybe he's trying to draw out a Pharika's Cure here. So he's waiting off the cantrip enchantment, so he can have the boon of Erebos to regenerate.
Yeah.
Basically, netting the same total of damage because you get 2 triggers out the Akron Crusader next turn.
Yeah.
Olle seems to be having 1/4 in hand here. And 2/2 flying lifelink Harpy. Or Agent of Fates. That doesn't really match up that well versus Mats' board. The Wanderer can regenerate against the Death Touch, and the Akron Crusader feeds Mats with a steady supply of creatures to sacrifice.
And he's used a 3/2, so this, a Scorch Mark on the Akron Crusader here would also be lethal on the agent.
Yeah. He if his Scorch Mark is the Akron Crusader, he can just straight up trade here.
Yeah.
So maybe he's thinking about scorch marking the Crusader, attacking with
the team. Really.
With the team, and having the boon for if Olle blocks the token with the agent.
Yeah.
Mats only getting in there with.
He's playing it safe with his mana and resources here. Just having mana up to regenerate the Wanderer.
Yeah.
Once for himself, and even having the 1 black mana left to
regenerate via the boon of Herballs here.
You can't imagine that the Agents of Fates will stand in the way here.
No. Also, the play that we suggested with piling onto the Crusader tapped you kind of low on the mana, so maybe you're forced to use the Boon of Erebos on the sort of Wanderer instead.
Here comes the Scorch Mark, anyways. And a soldier. Just getting the bodies out there.
Yeah.
With Olle at only 11 life from the Asphodel Wanderer attacks, it's definitely a good position for Mats here.
Yeah. Here comes the Harpy, but fortunately for Mats, he just drew a Harpy of his own.
And even the Harpy doesn't really do that much in the long run.
Well, it has lifelink.
But it still just dies to whatever blocker.
Yeah.
And the extra 2 life from a 4 spell card.
Yeah.
That you would need to attack in with then to certainly gain the life. But there's just so many things that the Mats can do that is just better. And dealing more damage.
Yeah. But you also have to consider it's quite a possibility that Olle can bestow onto the lifelinker. Doesn't seem to have a bestow card.
He will take the trade with the Crusader here, I guess.
Yeah.
Mats has to be considering actually using the boon.
Yeah.
On it here.
Gaining extra creatures for
gaining an extra creature for heroic trigger, and also just saving the guy here.
Yeah.
We did see the Murder King in Mats' hand as well, so that extra reach can definitely be a big assistance here for him here.
Yeah. I can't really see what Olle has in hand.
Lashed Whip takes care of the bigger creature here,
yeah.
But
it looked like
there's still 2 flying power on the board.
Yeah. And that unfortunately cost 6 to bestow, but should Mats find the 6th land next turn, I think Olle will be hard pressed to win this game.
He'll trade away his boon for the Agent of Fates easily, and getting Olle down to 7 here.
7 life here.
And he still has the mana to play the Murder King, or he actually goes for the
hard to cast the Lampad.
It looks like a Voyage's End in Olle's hand.
Yeah.
Along with a black card. a black creature is really what Olle wants here, preferably a big one that can actually survive an attack from the Lampard.
Yeah.
Just needs to stop the bleeding here to try and get into this game.
Is it maybe so that he has a mnemonic wall? Is that the card that we are mistaking for Voyages on, perhaps? It's kind of hard to see with you hiding your cards behind the name screen. Shape up, Olle. The Shipwreck Singer.
Shipwreck Singer here is...
Yeah, it's...
a block on the soldier, just taking 4, and then being able to block and reduce the power on the board.
Yeah.
Could be enough, but a Grey Merchant of Asphodel drawn for Mats is probably enough to seal off this game.
Yeah.
Drain for 4 and then attack with the team. No, it's drain for 5 even. But there was the Voyages End, so it will just be a drain for 3.
Yeah.
But the resulting oncoming attack as well will most likely take Olle down to 1, which isn't a very good position to be in here. He could draw a Grey Merchant, which would be absolutely awesome for Olle, but other than that, I'm hard pressed to see how he's gonna survive this.
Olle is on 2 Our Spotter claims. Now he's on 1. So he has a black blocker for the Lampad and
an activation for
the soldier.
But the Murder King here is gonna seal this game off.
Gonna finish it off. I think what Mats is trying to figure out, can I win without showing him the Murder King?
Sadly, the answer to that is no. So he'll just play it and sacrifice away the token.
And that's that, says Olle.
So 1-1 here, and we'll go into game 3.
Yeah, the decider, as it were.
Who's going to bring in the 2/4?
Yeah, the 2/4 for Minotaur that mills for 4.
Yes, definitely a good card against weenies from that side.
Also,
Return Centaur only costs 4 mana as well.
Yeah.
So it's super reasonable to have it as a
blocker for Lampard,
or whatever, really.
Yeah, since Mats showed him the Intimidate guy, he might be in the business for just having a decent sized blocker for the Intimidator.
Yeah.
See if we can figure out what he brought out. No.
Looks like maybe it was a boon.
Maybe.
But I'm not sure.
And Mats with a fairly red-black aggressive deck and still not playing Minotaurs and the Kragma Warcaller. I saw them sitting in the sideboard. He has foregone the Minotaur trail. He had an Fellhide Minotaur and the Kragma Warcaller in the board. He's fingering the Sip of Hemlock, thinking about boarding that out.
I'm certain that the Kragma Warcaller wasn't his main deck. So in that case, he had sideboarded it out.
Yeah.
But it was in the main deck from the beginning.
Yeah.
So he's done some switching around here, it seems.
even without any other Minotaurs.
It's still a 4-3
4/3 haste.
haste 4/5.
4/5 is
it's very reasonable.
Yeah.
And whatever Minotaur you have is just pure bonus.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, back in Invasion, that card was rare. It was called Skizzik.
Yeah. Well, Skizzik
Was a 5/3.
5-3.
Yeah,
But only if you kicked it.
only if you kicked it. Also, it did actually have trample, but
And it.
see if Mats can have another Wanderer ordeal start this game. This seems to have been working fairly well so far. I see a Death Toil Harpy and a Dragon Mantle, I think, from Mats's hand.
So mulligan from Olle.
Yeah.
Matt seems content with his hand.
Yeah, doesn't seem to be the blistering start.
Oh, he shifted back as well.
So not as content as we might have imagined. Yeah, well, from what we've seen from the matchup, maybe he's thinking that he actually needs to mulligan fairly aggressively for those very aggressive 1-2 punch starts.
Yeah.
Mats finished with his shuffling well before Olle, even though he started later.
Looks like a dark betrayal on the bottom there.
Yeah. Sideboarded card to deal with the bulky creatures from Olle that very easily stands in the way for the tiny aggressive creatures. That was another Dragon Mantle drawn, and then Grey Merchant, and they are both going down to 5. It looked as if Mats didn't have much in the way of land in that hand. And now we have to say that Olle's deck is definitely favored in going down in cards. He has a couple of tricks that can make up for the card loss in his deck. Maybe he keeps his Read the Bones to recoup some. Even we discussed it that he might be boarding one or both of them out. let's see if we find 5 cards that we like. We see a Grey Merchant on the bottom of Mats' deck when Olle shuffles it. Is he shuffling it to the top now?
Nobody knows.
Yeah, exactly.
See
So
if we can get
5
this game
cards.
on the way.
Yeah. That's a Lightning Strike as well. And
So just a swamp and sip of hemlock?
no,
Is that
I
it?
think this is the Dark Trail.
Okay, okay. So with Olle on the play, this might be a keep for Mats. Yeah, he is conceding that this hand is full of stuff that he wants.
Yeah.
Now he just needs to find the mana. He
Yeah,
finds
exactly.
the mountain, but still no creatures though. Olle seems to have drawn a really good hand here though.
Yeah, but Mats has the Spear Point Oread. So if you can just draw the 3rd land here, he can.
Is that a second ordeal?
That is a second ordeal. So
A land here for the Oread and just a prayer that Olle doesn't have a bounce spell or removal.
milling away 3 spells and a land.
And the
And-
Dark Betrayal.
Yeah. And
Not
here's
just
the
trying
land
to keep the board clear for.
for the Oread here. So does Olle have a Freakus Cure here? In that case, we could be heading to. Doesn't seem that he has a Freakus Cure because in that case he would have left up black. And on the other hand, he might have Voyage's End instead here. Is that what he's representing?
So he plays the Ordeal here and goes in the offensive.
Yeah, and like
There is a 5th land and a Gorgon for Olle here. It's
but the Oread has first strike.
but it still needs to come up to 5 power for it to be enough.
Yeah, but he plays
It
another.
is 5 power.
Yeah, exactly.
And he will also get the double discard,
Yeah,
so Olle's hand goes away.
the other ordeal goes away as well. You have to sacrifice the other ordeal.
I'm sure they will figure it out.
Yeah,
That the other ordeal
pretty
has to be
sure.
sacrificed as well.
Or no. Maybe they'll figure it out
Yeah.
now that they're trying to add counters to the.
Is that an arena athlete?
That is an arena athlete. No, it seems Mats is.
Wanderer and arena athlete. Just
Yeah.
piling out the cards, just hoping that Olle doesn't draw the 7th land.
Now he actually has
A Lash of the Whip is
Yeah.
definitely something that could screw things over for Mats here.
Yeah.
With going on the attack and getting the.
Oh, that's a Grey Merchant.
He has to think that he just wants to throw in all his creatures. He only attacks with the Asphodel Wanderer. This will take Olle down to 5. But he does have.
We were wrong.
Okay.
On the first trigger, the creature only had 2 counters.
Okay.
So there's the Intimidate creature.
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe Mats wants to sit on that creature because
He'll shove it out there and pass the turn.
and hoping to draw something else to target the athlete with.
We see a Voyage's End in Olle's hand. swamp here, and he could
That's a sip of hemlock.
go into it.
And
Mats really just wants to draw running lands here.
yeah, the thing is the shipwreck singer kinda ruins most of Mats's plans in short order here.
He will just have to attack with the team here. He'll declare he'll want to go into attackers, and then just shove the team in, trying to get some damage in before Olle has the chance to play more with the singer.
Yeah,
Since he can only just force the attackers now, he can't actually do the -1/-1 to the attacking creatures.
exactly.
Uh,
So Mats actually has 4 damage in hand. He has the Sip of Hemlock and he has the Grey Merchant.
yeah. So a block here on the intimidate creature is given. He will use regenerate his wanderer, and Olle will take 3 damage or 2 damage.
2
here.
damage here. No, he will voyage on the arena athlete. It's as if Olle knows exactly what is in Mats' hand.
Card on top as well.
Yeah.
And there we go. I really don't think that Mats has any good outs to get back into this game unless he draws the running swamps and being able to kill off the Gorgon, which is just gonna wreak havoc on whatever creatures he has to play.
Yeah. If he draws Swamp now, he can drain down to 2 life, and then he still has the Sip of Hemlock for the final 2. But no, Mats, no. And down goes the Asphodel Wanderer.
I think he really wants to make sure that the Grey Merchant actually does some damage. So he's hoping for a land here to Sip of Hemlock the Gorgon,
Yeah.
and then
Oh yeah. Of course, you can.
and then play the Merchant afterwards.
Yeah.
Hoping to find some more spells.
Yeah.
But it's a very awkward position here. It's not really that aggressive from Olle's side here, but just any cards that he would play is. There is a Scorch Mark, which I guess he could force out the activation on the Gorgon just to keep Mats from drawing a card.
Yeah.
But I'm not even sure that Olle would
Go
do
for
that. Just keeping the Gorgon active is.
Yes, since you can still kill the athlete with the shipwreck singer.
Yeah,
You might want to keep the Gorgon around for.
for a more lucrative target.
Yeah, exactly. Sure, Mats gets to draw another card, but we haven't seen that much in the way of creatures that actually fight very well with the shipwreck singer out of Mats' deck so far.
He goes for the Scorch Mark.
Yeah. Scorch marks Olle's creature instead. I like the play.
Try and lure him into attacking.
No, making sure that he gets to
it's,
draw the
yeah,
card.
you're correct. No, it's also making sure that he draws a card, and also making sure that Mats actually gets the devotion.
Yeah.
Mats draws the swamp here, so just playing the swamp and I guess forcing Olle to do the trick on the arena athlete here actually puts Mats in a very good position.
Yeah.
Just having the Sip of Hemlock for next turn, and then following it up with the Grey Merchant.
Yeah. Was that another voyage descent drawn by Olle? In that case, these plans could go slightly awry.
It wasn't a mnemonic. No, it's a Vaporkin.
Vaporkin.
Yeah. So the plan is still online.
Yeah.
Sip of Hemlock on the Gorgon here. You would have to imagine to be the correct play.
Yes. Or do you drain for 3 now that he's tapped out and can't use the Gorgon?
They would still kill the Gorgon. It was a Voyage's End,
Yeah.
so he still gets a drain for 1 now.
Yeah.
So Mats isn't dead on the counterattack.
No.
He will go down to 5, and
Yeah. So now the play seems like you're killing the Gorgon here.
he's going for the kill.
Yeah.
With an empty hand, he won't do monsters. Monsters wouldn't do him anything.
No.
Since he can't kill himself, so he will take the 2 damage.
Maybe he kills his own shipwrecks in here. Yeah, since he knows that the.
But that's just 1 devotion.
Yeah. True.
So if it would have been
dead.
two devotion, that would be fine.
Yeah.
Olle draws a read
read
the
the
bones,
bones.
and this game is over. He has to figure.
Yeah.
Yeah, he shows a read the bones. He refuses to let Mats kill him.
Yeah.
And there's the hand. Mats take this game. We're looking at the standings after this round. For today, we have 27 players, all at 18 points or more.
Yeah.
Leading the day after round 10 is Per Nyström at lone at 27 points.
Yeah.
There are 4 players behind him at 24, and then position 6 through 11 we have 21 points. And there, among those, we had Olle Råde and Mats Neumann MB that we saw playing right now.